past few days, 2 new cases of measles have been linked to the Disneyland outbreak. It brings the total number of diagnosed patients to 87 across 7 states.
The spread of the illness has reignited the debate over vaccinations and what can happen when people choose to forego them. One local mom says the consequences can be devastating. Her infant daughter died of a disease that is normally kept at bay with immunizations.
Anchor Sully Kibb sat down with the mother who explains why she thinks this outbreak was preventable.
This was Bree's favorite place to nap, peacefully nestled on the chest of her grandpa Mook.
And I think it was the movement of the chest and the warmth of the body, and they could just sit and sleep like that for hours.
The picture was taken when Bree was 1 month old. A few days later, the healthy infant started showing symptoms of a cold with a terribly distinct cough. Mother Danielle Ramagera says she never heard anything like it before.
She would cough, and then she would eventually turn blue around the lips, and then she'd pass out.
Bree was rushed to the hospital where she let out one cough, and the doctor knew exactly what was plaguing her tiny body.
First thing that went through my head was, what is that? I didn't even have a clue what that was.
That's because it was a disease scarcely discussed now, one that was prevalent decades ago called pertussis, also known as whooping cough. Danielle was a teacher at the time and believes Bree may have contracted the illness from her.
I had a bad cough. I remember having this cough that it felt like it was choking me. But it was just, that's a cold.
Adults have a stronger immune system. For little Bree, her fragile organs couldn't handle it. The highly contagious respiratory virus quickly attacked the rest of her frail body. Her lungs, kidneys, and heart started to shut down, and doctors placed her on life support and a blood thinner, which eventually caused her brain to bleed.
I did wake up that morning and I said, if what I'm praying for is not God's plan, then let it play out the way it's supposed to be God's plan. And He has a greater purpose for her, then God let it play out the way it's supposed to. And that was the day that they had to disconnect her.
She now believes the greater purpose is to share Bree's story and encourage vaccinations. You see, Bree was just 7 days shy of 2 months old. 2 months is when she could have gotten her first dosage of a vaccine. Like so many other infants, Bree was vulnerable to something that could be passed along by an unvaccinated child or adult.
If we stop vaccinating, this is what's going to happen. We're going to start to see these diseases arise again.
Which is why the measles outbreak that started at Disneyland breaks her heart.
Some people have told me, well, it's my choice. But what they need to realize is the choices that they're making for their children are affecting other lives.
Like many pediatricians, WDSU medical editor Dr. Corey Aber has strong feelings about the vaccination debate.
The whole measles outbreak is due to the anti-vaccine movement. People think that you should not get vaccination because of a link to autism, and that's not correct.
It's been more than 10 years since Bree passed away. Today, Danielle has 3 healthy young boys. Not a day goes by that she doesn't think about Bree.
The boys remind us of her every single day.
The story of her short life having a long impact, being told over and over again to help save lives. All right, well, both Dr. Aber and Danielle, they both recommend you get booster shots. She believes her vaccination that was in her system had worn off, and that's how she potentially got pertussis, and then she thinks that's how she gave it to her baby Bree.
Such a sad, sad story. Of course, we're so happy she has 3 healthy boys now. But Sola, I do want to ask you, we've heard a lot about the decrease in people getting their children vaccinated. How many people are actually not vaccinating their children?
Yeah, good question, Adriana. That varies. It depends on the state you live in and, of course, the vaccine that's in question. So regarding the so-called MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, for instance, Mississippi has one of the highest vaccination rates at 98%, but in Colorado, that number is just 82%. So the risk of an outbreak, it varies depending on where you live, geography playing a role here.
Thank you so much, Sola.